If haircutting is the distribution, so now what we're going to do is the distribution of weight, then weight tends to make us bigger or it makes us leaner. So graduation does the same thing. Based on where I put the weight, it changes what. Okay, so this next haircut, we're going to work with graduation. Graduation is a buildup of weight vertically. What graduation does is it changes the face shape, it changes the head shape. It does one of two things. If haircutting is the distribution of weight, then weight tends to make us bigger or it makes us leaner. So graduation does the same thing. Based on where I put the weight, it changes what the face does. For example, if I put the weight through the sides, through here, I elongate and I make the face wider this way. Now, if I put the weight through more onto the top, I then make this leaner, it elongates this way, so it makes the face skinnier. This makes this face wider. So I'm going to do two different variations on this particular haircut. This side we're going to work round, this side we're going to work triangular. So this side we're going to open up the face, this side we're going to close the face. Okay, so we're going to start this haircut with the heavier side. On this left side, I'm going to cut a classic graduated bob, but I'm not going to cut it classically. I'm going to cut it a little bit differently. A classic graduated bob starts with vertical diagonal sections and pivots while moving up the parting towards horizontal diagonal. Then once I find that desired angle towards the front, I then pull everything down onto that. So it leaves it very heavy through this central part of the haircut. It's a very difficult way of cutting hair. It takes a long time to kind of master that technique. And what I'd like to show you is something that's very simple and it's a little bit more time efficient for salon life. So I've sectioned the top away at the round of the head. So we've got a horseshoe section at the top here. I'm going to section down the center back. Okay, so my first section is going to start at the occipital ridge. That's the first round of the head as we move up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from there. I'm going to take that first section vertical diagonal from the occipital down into the nape. And section this away cleanly, or as cleanly as I can. So, body position wise, it's really important that you understand how we stand here. What I'm not going to do is put my feet together. If I put my feet together, I can't really see what I'm cutting. And it becomes very strenuous in here sometimes. So what tends to happen is, once I start trying to cut that way, because I can't see and it's a little bit feels weird, I tend to pull up like this. So I'll end up actually cutting more of a layer instead of graduation. Now this is a key part of the haircut because it's the first section, it's the immediate first graduation. So you're building the structure here. So what I do with my feet is I put this left foot forward. So what happens is now I can actually put the weight on the knee and I can see what I'm cutting. So it gives me a little bit more horizontal space to actually see what I'm doing while I'm cutting it. So that's my body position for the entire haircut. I'm going to choose to over-direct this hair straight back behind me, straight back to that wall that's directly behind me. So what that will do is obviously make it get heavier towards the front. I have a lot more options than that, but that's the weight that I'm going to choose. So let's do this first section. I'm going to tilt the head slightly, just so I can get into this region. Sometimes it's very tricky when there's shoulders in the way, so that's why I'll tilt the head. I pull the hair straight out from the head, pulling it straight back, straight out from the head, and I angle my fingertips out and I put my elbow in. What that does, if you can see, is it creates a V with that section angle. If there's no V like that, it's a layer. So what will happen is it will fall softer and longer on the edge and not on the inside. So what I want to do, straight out from the head, angle my fingers and create the V and establish the graduation. Very important not to cut past that second knuckle, because what you'll notice is your fingers actually get fatter towards the bottom. So instead of cutting shorter, you'll be doing that. So same thing. That has to be shorter, this has to be longer so that it works. Graduation works based on surface area. The shorter the hair, the stronger it is. The longer the hair, the weaker it is. So what this does is it's a support system. It's stacking. It's graduation. It's basically foundation. So I'm going to assess that, how that falls now. And I think I want to take it in a little bit tighter than that. So same thing. Just angle my finger in a little bit more. And now I can see that that's a lot stronger. So that's what I'm going to work from. My next section, it moves slightly higher up the parting, but it remains vertical diagonal. So every section through this side is going to be vertical diagonal. So what it does is it allows me to create a leaner graduation. So I don't get this massive mushroom peak of weight through the middle, that wherever the person moves, it never falls back into place. So this is just a leaner, easier version. So same thing as the first section. I'm going to pull the hair straight back. I'm not going to pull down from this angle. That's a mistake a lot of people make. And then it just gets too heavy too quickly. I'm going to let finger angle and over direction do this haircut for me. So I'm actually just going to pull the hair straight back and angle the fingers so I don't pull down at any point. So what I'm doing is I'm allowing the weight horizontally to be created by pulling the hair straight back. The weight vertically is created by my finger angle. Again, don't go past that second knuckle, because what will happen is you'll end up leaving it longer, which I just did there. And I'm going to continue in that manner. So same thing, everything straight back. Not pulling the hair down, just pulling it back and angling the fingers. So next section, exactly the same thing. And as I get closer to the round of the head, what's going to start to happen is I can start to condense the sections because my guideline is actually here in the back at that round of the head. So what will happen now is I'll just start to condense. So again, pulling the hair straight back, not pulling it down, allowing finger angle to create that buildup of weight. Now you can start to see it coming through. So now on this side, I can do this because my guideline is stationary. It's at the round of the head. Straight back, don't pull down. And there we have the side of a graduated bob. Now, obviously, I've just built the structure of the inside of the haircut. The outside, that's decorative. We can do that later. So now what I want to do is I want to put the top onto this. So now moving into the top part of the haircut. And what we want to do is basically we want to sit this on top of this part of the haircut. So this is the graduation. Now we're going to put the bob on top of it. So whereas before in a classic graduated bob, the traditional way, the elevation was much lower to begin with. We've come through this vertically. So all I'm going to do is use this elevation and place this top onto it all the way through to the front. Therefore, I don't establish such a heavy weight line, but I do maintain weight in that area. So my sections are very traditional. Turn around a little bit, you can see it better. So taking that top piece and putting it on that last piece that I did, combing down on the top of the section. If I comb up, then I'm combing my guide, and that's combing my guide up. So it's going to make the top shorter than what's on the underneath. That's going to be the mistake. So I comb on the inside and comb down on the top of the section. So what you're noticing now, I'm cutting on the inside of my fingers. Anytime I cut on the inside of my fingers, I'm going to elevate the hair lower. So in a graduation situation, it's very good to use the inside of the fingers as opposed to the outside. If I use the outside of the fingers, I have to really tell myself to pull the hair down. It's not a natural movement. The outside is to lift. Look at how my elbow moves. It's not really to do that. If I do the inside, then it does that. So, utilizing each side of your fingers to help you with the haircut. So now you'll start to see the bob of the haircut form more. So there we have the graduated bob. Much easier, quicker, salon version of it. When we finish this, we're going to blow dry everything and I want to do all the outline work. So right now what I want to do is I want to move into the other side, into the round shape. Okay, so this next haircut, we're going to work with graduation. Graduation is a buildup of weight vertically. What graduation does